Welcome, everybody. My name is Garo Yerizarn. I'm a principal consultant with Headspring, and we're doing a series here on our analytics engagements with Power BI and how it can enhance existing application development efforts and reframe your current plans for application development and also reporting. Here I've got with me are Glen and Evan. Glen, you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks. Good to be here with you all in the cyberspace. Obviously, we're all in our separate home offices as we're continuing to shelter in place through this coronavirus adventure. But great to be here with you all today. Like Garo said, my name is Glen Burnside. I'm the Executive Vice President of Operations and Strategy at Headspring. We are a custom software and engineering and consulting firm, and happen to have a practice and expertise in the Power BI space, in particular for BI and data visualization, something I've been really passionate about over the last several years in growing our practice in. I've been with Headspring closing in on 10 years now, so I'm an old timer, but really glad to be here and get to work with great software engineers and consultants like these.
Evan?
Well, I just want to say good to see you guys as well. It's nice to see your faces, even if it's virtually. It's been a minute. But yeah, happy to be here. My name is Evan Brooks. I work for a company called Workify. We're a employee engagement platform that is kind of a sister company to Headspring. And so we've worked closely together. And I've been at Workify for a couple of years now. And prior to that, I was at Headspring for about 5 years. So not as much as the old timer as Glen, but definitely been around for a bit. And over at Workify, we've been using Power BI since I started. But over the course of the last year or so, we've gotten a lot more involved with it. And I specifically have spent a bunch of time with it. And moving us from just using it to deliver reporting to our embedded offering that we have for our clients now. So excited to talk more about that today.
Cool. Thanks, Evan. So in this segment, we're splitting this up into 3 segments. So in this segment, we're really going to talk about going deep on one platform, and specifically Power BI. What we've seen with our clients is that when the data needs cross system and department boundaries, everyone tends to work on their own solutions, and there's little tiny one-off things all over the place. And usually that spreads the work and creates a lot of duplication. And we'd like to talk about how this solution tends to bring it all together. So Evan, how did you guys wind up going so deep on Power BI? How did that get started?
That's a good question. So I'll kind of take us back to the beginning of our reporting efforts at Workify. So a ways back, we originally started with building reporting into the web app using various JavaScript libraries. And that worked fine to a point, but we quickly realized that wasn't going to scale. With different reporting needs, different requests, we weren't going to be able to build everything in a customized manner for our clients. So fast forward a little bit, and we offloaded reporting to our client success team, who directly deals with our clients. And it was really kind of rough going at the start. We would kind of just give them a data export. They would take it, dump it into Excel, build some charts, throw those charts in PowerPoint, create a PDF, and deliver that as our reporting, which was definitely giving insights to our clients, but it wasn't to the level that we wanted, and that definitely wasn't going to scale either. It's just a little too much manual work to deliver reporting for every survey like that. So at that point, it stayed with our client success team, but they realized that they had to innovate in order to not just be working on reporting all day, every day. And so coupled with Headspring, who we had a good relationship with and who had some internal knowledge on Power BI and could help us get started, we went ahead and did that. We got started using Power BI. And it also aligned with our Microsoft Azure stack really well. So it was just a good place to start from a stack perspective. We had some internal knowledge. And then once we jumped in, it was just really obvious that this is kind of one of the things that we'd been missing, which we learned really quickly. Kind of as soon as you open the tool, you have access to so many of the things that we needed to deliver reporting. So we did that for a long time with our client success team running the show using Power BI. And fast forward to today, and we have a fully embedded offering with rich reporting right in the web app. But yeah, that's how we got started, and I can talk more about the embedded stuff later.
Yeah, you know, for us, it's interesting. It was kind of a similar set of challenges, but spread across lots of different departments, because it was really about where we got started with it initially was less about work with customers and first about how we do our reporting internally. And so, you know, we were coming from a place of having lots of different applications in play for how we run our business, because we are 100% cloud-based business. So most of our data is siloed into different software as a service subscriptions. You know, we've got Salesforce, we've got Marketo, we've got Xero for accounting, we've got Bamboo HR for all of our people and talent development. We've got Small Improvements for one-on-ones, and all, you know, we've got Greenhouse for recruiting, and they've all got their own reporting capabilities inside the apps, but they're all isolated. And so for us, you know, we were trying to figure out how do we get this like cross-departmental view of what's really happening with the business, and how do we figure out how to answer those questions we have about the business faster. You know, the reward for figuring out how to build a new report is always a request for another report, right? There's always one more question. There's always one more thing that somebody wants to know. So how do you keep iterating that? How do you keep building it, right? And really it was, you know, we were trying all these different tools. We were doing things in Salesforce, reports, dashboards. You know, we were trying things out with some of these other BI platforms that were out there. This was back in 2014, 2015, things like Looker, things like Google Data Studio, things like Domo. You know, we were all over the map. And so we had, you know, our service delivery team really liked Looker, and our sales team, like, they really liked Domo. And so we were just, you know, we were replicating a lot of work, but we were also replicating a lot of expertise development. So we had pockets of people who knew this tool, people who knew that tool, but we didn't have something that we could all come together on, you know, consistently. And then, you know, we didn't have a really great story when we wanted to figure out how to do this with a client like Workify, because we didn't really have a place to start from to be able to tell them, well, here's what we do and here's what works really well for us, because we were doing a little bit of everything everywhere. And so, you know, ultimately we got to the point where we said, you know, we really need to focus our efforts on one platform that we can get really good at, that we can bring all of our data together, and that we can, you know, take into our client projects and actually have a recommendation on. And, you know, like Evan said, we're a Microsoft Gold partner, Cloud Solutions partner, now also a Gold Data Analytics partner. So it made a lot of sense to look at something that was already in that ecosystem and was going to play nice with a lot of the systems we were already using, a lot of Azure SQL, a lot of SQL Server analysis services, things like that. So that's kind of where we got started on it, you know, was just that need for consolidating across everything.
Right. I mean, I'm seeing a common theme here, right? It's we had custom solutions, we pulling a lot of different things together, a lot of manual operation, and you both found a way to take that journey onto a single platform to bring it all together. And it ended up with the same solution. It ended up Power BI. So what is it about Power BI that makes it a solution that we want to also share with our clients or potential clients that they should be using and focusing on?
Yeah, and I think one of the first ones, the obvious ones, we both already said it. It's already in our ecosystem, you know. But the other thing for me,
you're already paying for it.
Yeah, you're already paying for it, right? If you're on a,
yeah, it's already there.
You know, if you're on the right Office 365 SKU, then you've actually already got a license for it. You may not even know it, right? But you know, it's really a platform that we found that you could get started at it with a lot of different levels. It's as easy as paying $10 a month for one person in your organization to get a pro license to get started on, and you can choose to do just that. But one of the big things, this was one of the things that was really powerful for us early on, was the fact that beyond just giving you access to the raw data from all of your different data sources and having all these great system connectors for direct connections to Salesforce or whatever external systems, whatever databases, the fact that Power BI has got this embedded measurement expression language in it, and it's actually the same expression language if you are already familiar with doing things in Power Pivot and Excel, or doing things in tabular model and SQL Server analysis services. It's the exact same expression language for building those measurements. But the fact that we could get the data in, and then we could put an analysis model on top of it, and then surface that model through these really great, rich visualizations, that was such a productivity booster for us, and so important in getting out of, I don't know how many times we would have conversations of, well, my Excel spreadsheet is calculated this way, and your Excel spreadsheet is calculated that way. I tell the story from when we were a much smaller company, where our project leads were, when it came time to invoice at the end of the month, they were running raw SQL queries to calculate, aggregate up, and figure out billable hours to revenue to put on client invoices. And it turned out that one of our project leads was using a slightly different query that he had hand rolled himself because he didn't like the way the joins were done or something. And, he was under reporting revenue to the clients on his projects. And so we were underbilling by thousands of dollars. I realized we underbilled one month by $3,000 because of a SQL query bug. Yeah. So, having a way to build these models and then being able to share the results of that in a single package form out to everybody in the company means that we're not just looking all at the business at the same time, but we're looking at it through the same lens in the same way with the same calculations. So we've got now like a common language of the domain model of our business, and that to me is hugely important. Never mind the fact that super fast to get started with. It's got a great API for integrating with other tools and things like that. And I think Evan can probably talk more about that side on the programming and integration side. But that for us was, was a huge piece of being able to go to this platform and then get started with it and have real valuable quality results really quickly.
Nice.
Yeah, I'll just kind of double down on that. I think one of the things that stood out for us was the usability and kind of the approachability of the tool. So I mentioned earlier that we had offloaded a lot of our reporting from our product team to our client success team. And in doing so, we kind of put this problem in the hands of a team they're not a bunch of software engineers. They don't have a software background or a data visualization background. But once we brought in Power BI, the team was able to kind of quickly learn, okay, here's what we're doing with this. They understood the tool, they learned how to use it, and got up to speed really fast. And we had a working prototype that was in our client's hands pretty much within a week, once we started leveraging Power BI and a little bit of knowledge from Headspring. And that was just a much faster turnaround than we could have ever hoped for on the dev side. If we were trying to build the same type of reporting in our web app, it would have taken longer than that, and all the changes would have taken much longer than the changes in Power BI. So I would definitely give it a thumbs up on approachability. And then the other thing that has been really good as we've continued our journey with Power BI are the APIs and what they allow you to do both on the infrastructure side and on the JavaScript side. So we've got a deployment process that uses the infrastructure APIs, and we're going to this fully embedded offering that really leverages a bunch of different features of the JavaScript APIs. And we've pretty much been able to do everything that we've wanted to do so far. And it's just been, it's been a pleasure to work with. There's great documentation both on using the tool and on using the APIs. And it's really helped us You know, like I said, do whatever we want as we continue the journey. And then the last thing I would say is it's helped us scale quite a bit, scale our offering, and then improve our innovation. So, you know, as soon as you open Power BI, you're opening a tool that has every kind of chart you could ever want to build and that we could ever want to put on the web app. So starting from that,
pie charts, bar charts, all the good ones, all the favorite charts.
No
yeah.
pie charts, right? No pie charts.
What?
No.
The pie charts are the best.
Yeah. We
there's some trauma here.
They're ribbing me because they know I've got a crusade pie charts as low information density. So
yeah, you can you know, as strongly as opinionated as you are, you can still find some charts for you in Power BI.
That's right.
Looks great. What's interesting is that both of your examples, both your journeys, they resonate a lot with a lot of clients that we've talked with, and a lot of situations in businesses where the need comes up and someone has to do it, and someone takes it upon themselves to do it. And moving them into a standard single tool set like Power BI helps you get value more quickly. And I hope that these two examples really have illustrated that even if you're for external facing, this is our product, you're able to find ways to quickly build visualization and understanding from a single tool. And then also for a company where this is our internal product, right, with Headspring, where we're using it to consolidate all of our sources and our intelligence and get it down to one place to go, right? Everyone's looking at the same information. Everyone's trying to make decisions on the same information and work off of how you visualize that. And I think what you're both saying is that Power BI is one of those, is a great tool for consolidating that from different skill levels of people, but also it gives you the flexibility to adapt it into different situations. So getting feedback from your consumers, adapting the tool, that's really what it's all about. Thank you very much for sharing that with us. And I'm looking forward to the next segment where we can talk more about how the embedded reporting that Evan mentioned a little bit, it goes a bit further and how you can also use it.
You bet.
Great.